Oh, gee. First production was back in 1987 at Theatre Passe Muraille. It was one of Peter Hinton's very first forays into professional directing. It was done there much in the shape that we started off with this particular show. As according to Winston, he said that he was at an event sometime back in 1986, and he had met Virgil Correda, who was at that time artistic director at the Tarragon, and he said, I guess he thought it was interesting seeing a couple of Chinese guys talking together, came over and he asked us what we did, and he said that he had told them that he was involved in film, but that he had written a play. And so Virgil said, well, tell me about it. So we told him about this play about the Bachelor Society in Chinatown, Toronto in 1929. And he said, that's really interesting. Would you send it to me? So we sent it to him, and Virgil sent it to Clark Rogers at Passe Muraille. And Clark went, well, this is really interesting. And he called Peter Hinton in and said, here, take this. At that time, it was a 4-hour manuscript, huge play with about 20 characters in it. And Peter and Winston sat down to hammer away at it, to bring it into some form to take to rehearsal. So Peter Hinton actually had to go to the West Coast to find actors to audition as well, particularly for the two older roles. There was a grandfather, and then there's a middle-aged man as well. And there wasn't anyone in the city who was really old enough to do that. And so the two men from the West Coast came in. There were, I suppose, maybe a half dozen to 10 people that one could actually see for these roles. I don't think they saw more than 3 people for my role. And now when you look around, it's so interesting because we thought, well, if we cast this now, we're not going to have any problems. We might just have to hold open auditions and get to see everybody. So we did not think it was going to be a problem trying to cast the play now, which is interesting because it just gives you it lets us know that there's been enough experience, opportunities, and training out there to bring along actors of all kinds of different cultural backgrounds, which has always been the biggest problem. The biggest problem has been if you don't get the opportunity, where are you going to find the people if you need to do an entire cast that is of a particular culture? If they don't get the opportunity to do plays on a year-to-year basis, then they're not going to have the chops to be able to step in and do something that is really quite challenging. And the lovely thing is now there are enough actors who get the training, who have the role models to point to and say, well, I can be an actor because so-and-so is an actor, and to go off and actually try and get the experience and the background and pay your dues the whole bit in order to be better suited to hit challenges like this.